DeSoto and the DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. And now, here he is, the one, the only...
You'll never take him alive. Oh, that's me. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples. And if any of them say the secret word, the duck will fly down and pay him $100. The word tonight is room. Okay, duck. Take off.
Well, Groucho, we invited some summer camp counselors to the show tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Ann Katz. Her partner is a married man, Mr. Ed Gaffney. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word. It's something you find around the house. Ed Gaffney and Ann Katz, eh? Ann, what's your hometown?
It's Chino, California, Groucho. It's out near Pomona.
Chino? Oh. Now, Ann, Fenneman said you were a camp counselor. Which one?
Well, I work for Friendship Day Camp. It's in Griffith Park.
I see. What kind of a camp is this? Could you tell us something about it, Ann?
Yes, I'd like to. It's,
I wish you would.
All right. Well, we think it's unusual.
I thought you were going to say, I will if you'll shut up, huh? Will you say that?
I wouldn't know. I'd like to, but...
No, really, I don't mind if you say that. I'm accustomed to being insulted up here.
Really? Well, we think that our day camp is kind of different because we have children from all races and cultures and religions, and we bring them together and help them to learn about each other and about their own culture, you know, to be proud of their own culture.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a wonderful place. Adults could learn a lot from this camp, and if there were more counselors like you, I'd register tomorrow. You certainly registered with me tonight, man. Now, Mr. Gaffney, that's you, huh? Where is your hometown?
I was born in Seattle, and at 6 months of age, I was moved to Southern California, and I haven't been out of here since.
Is that so? Are you married?
I've been married 4 years.
I see. Well, is this your first time out?
First time married, yes. First time out.
Well, that's what we refer to matrimony as out on this show. What sort of work do you do, Ed?
I'm in the investment securities business.
Investment securities?
Yes, with Lester Ryans and Company. We're members of the New York Stock Exchange.
Oh, and you have a lot of Ryans in the fire?
Quite a few Ryans in the fire.
You're in Wall Street, in other words, huh?
No, I'm on Hope Street.
Oh.
Wilshire and Hope.
Eddie, everybody on Wall Street is on Hope Street, huh? I thought your old face looked familiar, Eddie. In the crash of 29, weren't you standing on the 10-story windowsill when I flew by?
No, I was just being released, or I was just finishing the University of California at Los Angeles.
Is that so?
At that time. But these stories about people on the windowsills, those were the people that had their securities on 10% margin, which can't be done again. The Security Exchange Commission has seen that it can't be done again, so we feel that there will never be another window
Crash.
jumping 1929.
Well, I have solved that problem. I live on the ground floor now.
Oh, good.
And I don't have any of my stocks on a 10% margin either. I have them all on 11% margin. Well, it's been a lot of fun talking to you, but the time has come for you to make some money. Now, you selected sports. And remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what do you want to start with?
Want to start with 100?
Mm-hmm, yeah. We'll start with 100, she says.
You start with 100, all right. Now, Big Red is the name of one of the most famous racehorses of all time. What was his real name?
His real name?
Talk it over.
I will. I'm not sure. I'll talk it over. His name was Man of War.
You said it.
Well, you're off to a great start. You have $200 now.
All right, now what are you going to go for? 90, 80, 70, all the way down.
Try 90.
90, she
90, well, teams at the University of Connecticut and the University of Washington have the same nickname. What is it?
Washington? Huskies?
Yeah, you say it.
The Huskies?
Huskies is right, huh?
Now have $290.
I presume you're going for 80?
Yeah. I'm for
80?
Yeah, 80.
All right, and what sport are Billy Joe Patton and Ed Fergold famous?
Very famous golfers. They're very famous golfers.
Golf is right.
And you now have $370.
Now, which one do you want? 70?
$70.
70? Okay, for $70. What is the name of Abe Saperstein's colorful troupe of professional basketball players?
The great Harlem Globetrotters.
Harlem Globetrotters is right.
And you wind up with $440.
With a pleasure.
We have a young married couple for you now, Groucho. Mr. and Mrs. Anthony Herbert. Would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx?
Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you find around the house. Mr. and Mrs. Anthony Herbert, eh? Well, you're a nice-looking young American couple. What's your first name, Mrs. Herbert?
Mary Grace.
Miriam Grace?
Mary Grace.
Mary Grace, eh? Where are you from originally, Mary Grace?
Harmony, Pennsylvania. So
Harmony?
Yes.
And Tony, what is your hometown?
I'm from Harmony also, Grandpa.
You're from Harmony, eh? You're both from Harmony.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly must have been a lot of harmony in Harmony, eh? Mary Grace, how old are you?
We're both 25.
And what sort of work do you do, Tony? I assume you have a job. Otherwise, you'd be a bum like me.
Well, I'm a bum. I go to the University of Pittsburgh.
You go to university? What are you studying in college? You're married, so you can't be studying what the other college boys are studying.
Well, I study
What are you majoring in?
creative writing and psychology.
Creative, well, there's a close connection between those two. Have you done any creative writing yet, Tony?
Well, I have a book out, Conquest to Nowhere.
Conquest of Nowhere?
Yeah.
Is that all about matrimony?
No, it's about my experiences in Korea.
Oh, well, that sounds like it might be interesting. Mary Grace, is it any good?
Well, the critics say it's so outstanding that once you pick it up, you can't put it down.
If you pick it up, you can't put it down? Why is that? Is it printed on flypaper? Now, what's so fascinating about his Korean experiences?
Well, General Ridgway picked him as the most outstanding soldier of the Korean War, and also he's the most decorated soldier of the Korean War.
Wow.
Very good.
Mary Grace, how many medals does he have? I'd ask him, except he might not know.
Yes, 40.
40 medals, huh? Well, that's incredible. Tony, what are they? I know you're modest, but we'd like to know some of them.
Well, 11 of
Did you
them...
get any for bravery?
Not really. No, 11 are from different states, and there's silver stars, a couple, and purple hearts, a few of those, and
A
bronze
few
stars.
purple hearts, just
4 of them.
just four purple hearts? Huh?
And presidential citations, 3 of those, and distinguished unit, and from Turkey and France and different countries.
I got a medal from Turkey for being chicken, but... Tony, I'm not only going to... You say there's a book out, and
Yeah.
where can this be purchased?
Well, you
Where
can
do I
it
get a copy?
at
I'll buy a copy.
You will. At any bookstore, and if you can't get it there, you can get it from the Keystone Publishing Company in Harmony.
And what is the name of this opus?
Conquest to Nowhere.
Conquest to Nowhere. I want everybody out front to remember that. Well, how did you win some of these medals, Tony? For example, how did you get your first Silver Star?
From knocking out a machine gun nest.
You knocked out a machine gun with your fist?
No.
Well, how did you do this?
Well, I got caught out there without any ammunition, and...
Well, that's very foolish.
Well, we were pinned down, and I started to attack with some other men who got killed on the way, and ran out of ammunition and had to kill... There were 4 members there. I thought there were only 1. And
There
had
were
to kill-
4 of the enemy there?
Yeah.
And you thought there was 1?
Yes, otherwise I probably wouldn't have went there. And I killed 3 with the bayonet, and 1 bayoneted me through the chest and come on my back, and I killed him with the rifle butt.
He doesn't look like a tough guy, does he?
I've been married too long.
You know, you can never tell who to get fresh to in a bus or a streetcar or something. Well, I hate to call a halt to this conversation because it's not often I get a chance to meet a real hero. But we'd like to see you win a lot of money tonight, so we want to kind of play around with the quiz. So let's play You Bet You Like.
The first couple won $440, and the secret word is room.
All right, you select a dictionary quiz, and remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what do you want to start with?
$70.
$70? Is that all right with you, Mary? What is a conflagration?
Conflagration.
Conflagration. C-O-N-F-L-A-G. Conflagration.
I think it's a state where it's confusion and a massive confusion leads to such a conflagration, or a group meeting.
No.
No?
It's a
We're
big
right.
fire.
Well,
Well, you lost half your 100. You still have $50, however.
Well, now, don't get discouraged. Now,
Okay.
you got a long ways to go. What are you going to go for now?
let's try 80.
80?
Sure.
All right. What is the word relating to the commemoration of an event that happened 100 years before? When you celebrate something that's 100 years old.
What, centennial?
Centennial is right.
You now have $130.
$130. Now, what are you going to try?
90.
90? What do you call goods that are illegally smuggled into a country?
Contraband?
Contraband is right.
You now have $220.
220. Now, what are you going to go? It's your last chance to beat the other couples.
Let's try 100.
All right. What do you call the information printed in every issue of a newspaper or magazine listing the name, management, and ownership of that publication? What do you call the information printed in every issue of a newspaper or magazine listing the name, management, and ownership of that publication? It's usually right in the front.
Take it. I don't know.
Take a guess.
I don't know.
Well, it's the masthead.
Masthead.
Well, you lost half your $220. You wind up with $110.
Well, it's a tough category you chose. Well,
before we run on the air, our studio audience selected Miss Betty McAnally to be your guest on the show tonight, and her partner is a married man, Mr. Glenn Rakes. So, folks, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Glenn Rakes, huh? That's a simple
Right.
declarative, isn't it?
Very definitely.
Glenn Rakes, huh? And Betty McAnally?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Rakes, where are you from, originally, I mean?
Ward, Colorado, Groucho.
Oh, are you in the first ward or the second ward?
Ward.
Ward.
Need a diction lesson.
Oh,
Ward, Colorado's a little mining town up above Boulder. My father was a hard rock miner up there.
he was, huh?
I was born there because that's where my mother happened to be.
Well, that made it pretty handy all around, didn't it? Huh? Now, what sort of work do you do, Glenn?
Groucho, I'm a voice therapist.
A voice therapist, so what kind of a racket is that?
Well, sort of, well, I'm not a diction teacher. I'm not an elocution teacher or a dramatic teacher, but
Are you a
Sort of.
fiction teacher?
a voice mechanic, you know. I repair broken down voices.
You mean you're a singing teacher, huh?
Definitely no. I just fix voices that need fixing.
Well, why do you hate singing teachers? I
I
mean, the
didn't
way...
say I hate singing teachers.
Well,
I'm just not a singing teacher.
No, well, that was the inference that I gathered from that.
It's
Have
very
you-
difficult to divorce the two, especially
Oh,
obviously.
I know a lot of singing teachers that are divorced. They keep singing long enough, they'll all get divorced. Huh? Well, what are some of the voice problems that people come to you with?
Well, many of them, some of the post-operative cases.
Post office cases, you say?
Post-operative cases.
I don't hear very well. You'll have to tell me.
I'll speak up a little bit. I need a diction lesson anyway.
Oh.
Quite a few young ladies come to me from time to time.
Could you use an assistant?
There have been times when I could, yes.
Very few young ladies come to me with any problems.
Their main problem,
They
Groucho,
leave me with problems, but they don't... Betty, where are you from? Some ordinary place like Outer Mongolia?
No, just
Around here, you
plain,
know, you never can tell.
just plain old Seattle, Washington.
Plain old Seattle? Well,
Yes,
it's
sir.
a lovely city,
I
Seattle.
know. Well, of course, I came here when I was about 3 years old to
You
Los
did, huh?
Angeles.
Well, in other words, you were crazy about Seattle. Huh?
Yeah.
Do you have any hobbies that we could discuss here, Betty? Most people do. What's yours? Opening charge accounts?
Yes, I'm interested in civilian defense.
You work in civil defense? The trouble with civil defense is most girls don't put up a civil defense.
Oh, I
They kick
do.
and bite and scratch. What kind of civil defense activity? Just what is it you do?
Well, there we learn to do all types of rescue work for any kind of a disaster that may befall us.
What do you regard as a disaster?
Well, flood or a bombing, it's a horrible thought, but a bombing and, any type of thing like that.
I think it's highly commendable that you are so interested in this, Betty. More people should get interested in civil defense. However, do you think your training will be of any use in everyday life?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I really do. It helps you learn first aid and fire rescue and lowering people out windows and it's very interesting. Taking men up and down ladders, too.
Do you lower many people out of windows?
Oh, we've lowered quite a few.
We? Now you...
The other girls and myself.
Oh,
You
I
see,
see.
they teach us, lifelines and...
Well, why do you do this? Is this to avoid the hotel detective?
Well, no. I mean, in case there's a victim on the second floor and you rush up there.
What kind of a victim?
You rush up there real fast. Oh, a man, preferably.
Yeah.
And,
It's a woman. You don't go up that fast.
That's another department, you know. No, I
If
mean,
it's a woman, you only go to the first floor, is that it? He can rot on the second floor. Well, give us an example of how you use your emergency training in everyday life.
Well-
Would you mind lying down flat?
it'd be, well...
This should be fun.
She wants to show you how they do first aid.
What'd you like
isn't
to
that it?
see?
Well, let's say he was drowning.
Well, I mean,
Is there any water in the audience?
the only trouble is I can't swim, but I mean, once you get him out of the water, I can...
No, I mean, you just lie down flat, but he'll show you what first aid, I think you have to turn over on your stomach.
No, he's all right.
No, is he all right?
Make up your mind.
You'll have to do it down. Would you mind drowning down here? No, the camera doesn't go way up there. Could you crawl over here, please?
My head there.
Yeah. I think he's asleep. Say, if you want to sleep, go out in the audience. All right, lesson's over.
This wasn't in the contract.
Mr. Rex, you're a good sport. Give me a hand. I'd like to go on talking to you two. It's been a lot of fun, but I'm afraid the time has come for some more serious things. You're going to play You Bet Your Life. Now, you named the profession as your category. Is that right?
The first couple leads with $440.
Let's see if you can correctly name the professions of these famous people. And remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what do you want to start with? The small sums are easy questions.
$100?
$100?
Yeah, we came in with nothing. Let's go out with it.
That's not true. You came in with Betty.
Oh.
All right, for $100, what was John Burroughs' profession?
You tell him. Well, he was a writer. See, we missed.
The bell is tolled. He was a naturalist.
Well, you lost half your $100. You still have $50.
All right, now you've got a long ways to go. What would you like to fly at this
90?
time?
Sure.
90?
Mm-hmm.
What was Nijinsky's profession?
She was a dancer.
That's right, and a great one, too.
Back in the running with $140 now.
What now, Brown Fox?
How now, brown cow?
Oh, how now, Brown Cow?
$80.
$80. What was Benjamin Cardoza's profession? Benjamin Cardoza. Very famous.
Did he?
Oh, let's see.
Benjamin Cardoza.
Well, let's see.
He's a painter?
No, he was on the Supreme Court, and he was also a lawyer.
Oh, I remember that.
Famous.
Now he
I
tells.
remember
Well,
that.
you now have $70.
Now, what are you going to try now? 70?
70, sure.
Here's your last chance to
What
beat the
else?
other couples. All right. What was Henry Ward Beecher's profession? Henry Ward Beecher.
Yeah, live it up.
He's a writer.
No, I'm sorry. He was a clergyman, minister. Very famous, too.
You wind up with $35.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't win more. Thanks and good luck.
And that means that Miss Katz and Mr. Gaffney, with $440, in just 1 minute get the chance at the $1,000 question.
I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully, and please no help from the audience. Here it is. Just before World War II, an American general resigned from the United States Army and became air advisor to Chiang Kai-shek. He formed the famous Flying Tigers. For $1,000, who was this general? All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
It's Claire Chenault.
General Claire Chenault is right, huh? $1,000 plus how much in the quiz, George?
All the way in the quiz, $440.
That's how much is that, George?
$1,440.
George, you are so smart. Now, what are you going to do with all that money? Not you, George.
Well, I'm going to donate at least part of it to the camp.
Well, that's a worthwhile thing to do with your money. And you?
I'm going to give a pretty fair amount to the church.
Well,
That's wonderful. Congratulations.